time of my most toxic friendship and subsequent friendship breakup ever. As I've said like a few times now on my page, I was quite badly bullied when I was at school, and I met this girl basically just as school ended, and she was very willing to be my friend and we got on super well, and I kind of like glossed over some of her red flags because I was just so happy to have like a best friend. We became absolutely like best friends, did everything together in the space of about a week. It was like one of those toxic relationships where you're getting married like a month after meeting, but we basically started to do absolutely everything together, and we started to get known basically as coming as a pair. My friend came from like a very, very wealthy family, so she actually didn't have a job, whereas like I had a job. There were definitely some red flags that sort of came with this. For example, she would want to stay at my house when I was at my job, and she would just like want to sleep all day. She would also get very pissed off if I wanted to like kick her out of the house in the morning, like when I went to my job, because I didn't feel that comfortable with her like staying in my house while I wasn't there. She also, which isn't really an issue, but she would go out and party like every single night. Like I couldn't, obviously, because I had a job. But she would get very, very angry with me if I didn't like come to things with her, and she would get really pissed off that I wouldn't come out and party every single night. Like that was a big, big point of like contention in our friendship. She was also super like snobby and wouldn't get on the tube or public transport or anything, and would be like, I'm not doing that. Like I'm not doing that. We are getting on, like we're getting an Uber or a Bolt, or we're getting nothing. Like that was a very, very hard line for her. But then once we got into an Uber, because she would refuse to go on the tube, she would then make me split it or pay for it, which was just like irritating because she didn't have a job and I did. She would also kind of like rinse me for money, like saying that her parents had cut her off. And like would get me to pay for a lot, which was also just like irritating. Also very early in our friendship, she would say that she found my ex-boyfriend like really hot. And I kind of said like, hey, I'm not too comfortable with you like talking to my ex-boyfriend. And she was like, oh my God, no, like I would never ever like talk to a ex-boyfriend or get with him or anything. I'm just saying that I think he's good looking. And I was like, okay, well, as long as it stays that way, like I don't really fucking care. There was one time where I came back from work, and I still live with my parents during this time, and I came back from work with my mum. My mum had driven me home. This girl had loads of people like outside my house, and she was getting irritated at me, basically saying like, you said you'd be home by 6, it's 6:30, like I'm having people over to your house and like you haven't been here to let us in. And I was kind of like, whoa, like crossing the line a little bit, like this is definitely over familiar. And I remember my mum being like fucking fuming, being like, why is this girl treating our house like some sort of club? And I was like, kind of fair enough. This girl also like lied about quite a lot of strange things. Like she lied that she was a member of this European royal family. She also said that her family owned West Ham Football Club. Like it was a lot of like really strange lies that could easily be proven. I also heard quite a few rumors from some of the girls at her school that she'd sort of like ripped them off money-wise, that she'd stolen a festival ticket, that she refused to pay people back, like had basically stolen money off a few people. And you're probably wondering why I didn't cut her off. And honestly, because I'd been so badly bullied at school, I was just so happy to have a friend that I could go out with and do stuff with. And also she was really funny, and we did get on like really, really well at the beginning. I had introduced her to a lot of people like in London. She didn't really know that many people like when we first sort of like left school. And we used to go to a lot of events together and honestly have loads of fun together. This is when things start to get a little bit strange. She started basically buying the exact same clothes that I had, and she would basically copy exactly the kind of things that I would wear. I had like a very signature look. This is very cringe, but I used to wear these like really long pearl necklaces, and she would copy those like exactly, like she bought the same jeans as me and basically copied my exact makeup, look, whatever. Also, because I didn't like introduce her to quite a lot of the people that she knew, she would start like hosting things and wouldn't invite me. So I would see everybody like on Snap Maps in the same place, but I wouldn't be invited. And when I'd ask around like whose party it was and why I hadn't been invited, it would all go back to that she had organized this and basically had told people that I wasn't available and I couldn't come. When I confronted her about this, she basically told me to come around to her flat that night. we could have some wine, drink, and talk things out and work things out. And I was like, cool, okay, like when I finish work, I'll come over to your flat and we can talk this out. So when work finishes, I go over to her flat, I ring on the doorbell a few times and I'm like, she's not answering the door, like what's going on? I text her a few times, she doesn't pick up. I'm like, what's going on? I check my snap maps and I see that she is in a completely different part of London at some club and she's not even in her flat. And I call her and I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, we never organized anything tonight. Like, you're crazy, you're acting crazy, you're being really possessive and controlling. Like, we can do things without each other. And I was like, what? Am I being fucking gaslit right now? We move past this and kind of make up. And that weekend comes and again, I see a party happening. And again, all of the people that I know are there and I am not invited. So I asked one of the guys, I'm like, hey, who's throwing this party? And lo and behold, it is that girl. And so he says to me, he's like, just come anyway, just show up, like what's she gonna do about it? I show up to this party and loads of people are saying to me like, oh my God, hey, like I thought you couldn't make it, like it's really nice to see you, whatever. This girl sees me and she's like, oh my God, babes, like I didn't know you were coming, like it's so good to see you, acting as though she hadn't just like not invited me. So I kind of play it cool and things are like fine and our friendship kind of gets back on track. I'm then set to go traveling for 4 months and our friendship is in like a decent place. Like we're not as close as we used to be, but our friendship is in a pretty good place. Or I go traveling and I don't then see her for 4 months. I come home from traveling early because I have a mental breakdown, which is a completely different story for another time. And she's very welcoming and warm, like when I come back. I also know that a party is taking place while I'm on the plane back from traveling and I am set to see her for dinner when I arrive back. When I sit down for dinner with this girl, she is telling me about the party that took place, you know, while I was on the plane. And she says, oh, I saw your ex-boyfriend and he tried to get with me. And I was kind of like, what? Because one thing about my ex-boyfriend, even though we've broken up, we remained pretty good friends and he's like a very, very nice guy. And I just didn't really see him doing that. So I kind of left with like a bit of a like uneasy feeling in my stomach. The next day I go round to one of my other friends who had also been at the party's house and I say to her like, oh, I saw this girl for dinner. She said that my ex tried to get with her, which like really makes me uncomfortable, but like she didn't do anything, so it's fine. Like I believe her, I trust her. And my friend was like, that is not what happened at all. My friend tells me that she had been throwing herself at him all night. They had got with each other on like multiple occasions. My friend had confronted her and said, hey, like Meg is like not mentally very well right now and you're here like getting with her ex-boyfriend. Like, do you not feel any sort of remorse? And she told my other friend that I had allowed it and I had given her my blessing, which is obviously not what happened at all. The next morning as well, my friend was meant to be driving her home and couldn't find her anywhere and doesn't know where she had gone and if she had disappeared off with my ex. After hearing this, I instantly call her and I'm like, hey, you fully lied to me about this, by the way, and I don't really want to be your friend anymore because you've completely sort of like lied to me and completely destroyed my trust. And also, you're kind of strange. After this, she goes on like a full-blown scorched earth smear campaign and tells everybody that I stole her Louboutin shoes, which I did not. Like, I'm not the kind of person who wears Louboutin shoes. No hate. Like, I'm sure they're lovely. I don't wear them. She went on this whole smear campaign saying that I'd stolen from her, that I'm a thief, that I'm a liar, like all of this stuff. She also messaged my school bully, who I've got a whole story time about on my page. She messaged her and basically said that I was a bitch, that everything that she'd said was right, like all of this stuff. This girl who bullied me at school was a fucking psychopath, so that was really cool because I'd opened up a lot to this person about how traumatic that had been. Also told all of the people that I'd introduced her to that I had been bitching about them the whole time and that I hated all of them, but luckily I'd known them for longer, so they didn't actually believe her. After this, I just completely stopped being friends with her, blocked her, whatever. I also found out that later down the line, she had been trying to get with my ex and had been messaging my ex the whole time throughout our friendship and had been like trying to actively get with him at different events that we'd been at, which is crazy. I haven't seen or heard from this girl in literal years. I blocked her, so I have no idea what she's up to. Hope that she is doing well wherever she is and is thriving.
I know sometimes, like, whenever you have, like, a crazy ex or something like that, you want to be like, oh my gosh, my stalker, my stalker. Let me tell you about the legitimate stalker that I had whenever I was a sophomore in high school. Also, does this mean that my piercing's gonna get a piercing bump? It's, like, really red and inflamed this morning, and I don't know why, and I don't know what to do. But, so to give you a rundown, sophomore year of high school, I was in a big phase of delinquency. I just broken up with my ex-boyfriend who literally changed my entire like brain chemistry. Like our relationship was just horrible. He was older than me. I'm pretty sure he was sneaking around with my best friend at the time. Um, just had gotten into a lot of things, started dabbling in a lot of things I shouldn't have. So I really wasn't focused on trying to find like a boyfriend. But during this time, I did indeed have a trap phone. Oh, this is the multitasker concealer, by the way. I've had a couple people asking me. Did have a trap phone where I had Snapchat, Instagram, things of that nature because I was going through such a delinquent phase. My parents had taken a lot of like my phone away. They'd always kind of had my phone like under control, so like I was really ready to not be under said control and like do what I wanted to do. Like I wanted freedom so badly. But I had Snapchat on this trap phone. This is important. Just elf for under the eyes. But so during that time, I was on my high school's wrestling team. I had a friend on there that she had just joined. I was her like team captain, but she was a senior. I was a sophomore. So she told me, she was like, "Hey, I know this guy, and he's like really interested in you. He wants your snap." And I was like, "I mean, okay, that's fine. You can give him my snap." I didn't really think anything of it. I was not going to be like, "Oh my gosh, really? I'm so excited. Like, who is this guy?" Like, I was just like, "Okay, you can give him my snap." Like, that was the extent of our conversation. So first thing is like, I didn't even know who this guy was, but she gives him my snap, and he messages me, I think the next day. So he reaches out to me, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna call him A. I'm A, Abby's friend, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay, hey." Told him that whatever. He started talking to me. We started talking a little bit. It was nothing like romantic or anything like that, but he was just asking me questions about myself, this, that, and the third. I was just like, okay, whatever. Like he's fine, I guess. Like didn't really matter to me. I'm using this palette right here. I don't know how to pronounce it. That for my bronzer and stuff. So he reaches out, we start talking. Well, I'm starting to walk to class and stuff as the days pass, and I start seeing him more and more often. I'm like, this is weird. Like, he would never say anything to me, but I would see him, and he would always be looking at me or whatever. Long story short, this man had been following me around school to find out my schedule, which he then told me that he did. So days go on. He just snaps me, whatever. He starts saying things like, "Oh, I love you," and I just tell him like I'm not like emotionally out of this. I'm just out of this horrible relationship. He knew my ex, by the way, which plays a part later on. But like just got out of this relationship. Definitely not ready to have anything with anyone else. Also, I was like trying to cope with everything that was going on in my life at that moment. So I was self-medicating by cooking and just lettuce. So a lot of this is kind of in like a fuzzy haze for me. But he did not seem to comprehend that I was not prepared for anything of that nature because he just kept on at it. And he would start walking me to all of my classes that he was at school for and then staying at school longer so he could be at lunch with me. And even all of like my wrestling buddies, because I would always eat lunch with my wrestling people, they're like, "This is weird." This is Patrick Taw. Again, another long story short, I get taken out of school that year. And after I get taken out of school, apparently he's just devastated. My trap phone got taken, wasn't in contact with him, anything like that. He was the last thing on my mind, if I'm being honest. But he showed up to the church that I started attending because somehow, through the grapevine, he found out where I was going to church. And he gets his friend to bring me a stack of letters. It's probably about 10 letters. And the contents of these letters were absolutely insane. So I get home, me and my parents are actually reading these letters together because I was freaked out. And like this was something that I was like debating, can I take legal action on this, can I not? Some of these letters, some of the things that they included was him telling me that he found my mom's Facebook, that he kissed baby photos of me before he went to bed every night. He was saying he would pow my stepdad and my ex-boyfriend. Mind you, he was the captain of the rifle team for our JROTC at the time. So that's kind of scary. He found my home address, told me that he would die if that meant that he could marry me. Just a lot of really crazy things. He added his last name to my name, so anytime he would say my full name, it'd be Addison da da da, his last name. It was just kind of crazy. It was definitely a crazy situation, and for someone that was already going through a lot with her, what I was going through, I was hospitalized twice, more things like that. I'll get into it. It was a lot that I just wasn't worried about. This is L'Oreal's telescopic. So yeah, after that, I was kind of scared to go to church, so I would have one of my trusted guy friends that my parents would let me see. He started coming to church with me, and one night we go to church together, and the guy A is there. So he's like kind of following me around, keeping at a distance for some reason. It was really weird. And my guy friend, he went up to him and was like, hey, you know she does not want to talk to you, right? And A was just like, what? No, what? No, I'm not doing anything. And then proceeded to like come up to me. And it was like the most awkward like conversation. He was just like, hey, and then this guy stood there like this. And I was like, like it was so hard to look at him with a serious face after reading all these things that he had said. Mind you, like it was like kind of scary. Like it was, but also I'm laughing because it's like disbelief. Like there's no way this is really happening. Like because it was like movie level type stuff. Like I don't know, saying you know where I live. And mind you, during this time he was calling himself my boyfriend. Like in the letters, he would call himself my boyfriend. To other people, he was calling himself my boyfriend, and like kind of just was claiming that to me and like I'm your boyfriend. I was like, oh no. So we leave church that night. He'd actually gotten my guy friend's snap and snapped him and was like, I just want to be able to watch over Addie and make sure she's safe, this, that, and the third. And my guy friend was just like, dude, she wants nothing to do with you. Like, where are you getting this from? You are scaring her. And he then proceeds to send him like 60 plus images of snaps from me that had like pictures of my face and then love you baby or something like big strong man, like stuff that I would not say. So my guy friend validly was like, what? And he sent them to me, or he told me about it. And long story short, what this guy had been doing was taking my snap streaks or like just pictures of my face that I had sent, saving them as a photo and then re-entering them into Snapchat to put text over them. I don't know if you can still do that. This was a couple years ago now, but it was like that level of psycho. So after that, I didn't really hear much from him, and just kind of like a year, 2 years went by. He ended up working with one of my friends, one of my really close other guy friend, different guy friend than before, and sent him a message about how much he hates my guts and doesn't want to see me, doesn't want to look at me, this, that, and the third. And that was our last interaction. So yes, there was a shirt change because I started changing my work uniform and then realized I definitely don't want to wear my work shirt on here. And yeah, moral of the story, people are crazy. This dude was insane. And don't be a delinquent, and maybe this won't happen to you. I hope y'all have a great day. I hope this was a little bit entertaining. Y'all stay safe. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Ready with me for the day. Today's drink of choice is the Witch's Brew Alani, and I'm so excited because this is like my favorite, and I heard the marshmallow one came out, so I have to try that too. I'm breaking out really bad for some reason, so that's another reason why I haven't done my makeup in like a week and a half, because like you see the constellation on my forehead. That's a problem. I don't have acne. What is this going? I use the Anastasia Brow Freeze. This stuff is so good. Like it's comparable to like maybe like the Refi, or even like the brush is kind of like the Benefit. But I got it at my Ipsy, and I really cannot even be mad about it because it's so fire. While I started my base, let's talk about how my phone got freaking stolen. Basically, at rodeo, I was out minding my own business, and I was walking because it was over. It was like 12 in the morning at this point. We were walking out, me and my friend Claire. We were walking out, and we were going to my boyfriend and his friends in the Jeep, and like we were parked out pretty far because there's like so many people there. Like when I tell you there's so many people at this rodeo, there's like so many people. And I thought we were gonna be okay because I mean like we were just walking, like probably a bad idea for two girls to go walking by themselves, but I live here, like I didn't think anything bad would happen. I was immediately literally proven wrong. So I started walking, and we couldn't really find the Jeep at this point. It was dark. We parked out pretty far, so we like sat next to this tree and we're texting Striker and my other friends that were with them, and I was like, hey, where y'all at? Like, we're trying to find y'all. And they're like, in the Jeep. I'm like, okay. So we continue to walk, and at this point we see this girl crying, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm a girl that's gonna make sure you're okay. So I'm like, girl, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? Wrong! This freaking boy comes up, and well, not boy, this is a grown man, by the way, comes up to me and speaks for her. I'm like, oh, no, that's not what's gonna go. And he's like, she's fine, but can I get your snap? No. No. Do you hear yourself? I say no, like the person I am, and I keep walking. Well, he did not like that. Let me tell you, I won't name drop because I don't know, but he just did not like that. He did not like the rejection. His ego is too high for that. When I tell you, this man follows me. This man follows me. And he comes up to me and he grabs my arm or like something. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna give me your fucking Snapchat. You're funny. In what world does grabbing a girl or following a girl give you any idea that they're gonna give you their Snapchat? And also, you're like at a big age. You're like 23. Why are you asking for Snapchat? You've made it through life farther than I have, and I still ask someone for their phone number out of respect. So like, I was gonna give you either, but like, not my Snapchat or my phone number, because no. And after he grabbed me, I was like, oh, that's not how it's gonna play. Like, I'm not the one. So I started cussing him out and telling them that, like, I'm gonna beat him up. And if I don't, my dad or my boyfriend will, because... Sorry, I'm just around getting to edit this. This man is at a solid 5'3". I stand at 5'1". Mind you, we're seeing eye to eye. You're gonna grab me? He probably weighs like 120 pounds. I'm not kidding. I could have drug him through the dirt in the grass out there. Who are you grabbing? Because I know it wasn't me. Because, like, maybe I'm hallucinating, but I know, like, you did not just put your hands on me. I know you didn't. After that, like, I started cussing at him, got in his face, blah, 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 because you're not, absolutely not going to put your hands on me like that. And he just kept apologizing. I'm sorry? Like, there must be pigs flying, because there's no way you thought sorry was going to help that, because I will put my hands on you. Yes, I will. So, after that, I, like, flung him off of me, because, like, you're not, like, that's not what it's going to play. That's not what it's going to play. So, I flung him off of me, and I'm wondering if my phone went with him at this point. But after I noticed that my phone was gone, mind you, he was asking for my phone number, so that's why I thought, it was you. So, I was like, where the fuck is my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? And I'm kicking the dirt underneath me, and I'm looking around, and he's like, I don't know, and he flees. I'm like, bye, but where's my fucking phone? And then I'm looking on the ground, I'm laying in the ground, I'm like digging through the dirt at this point, I'm dirty, looking for my phone. It's in Timbuktu. Don't know where it's at, it's gone. So I ended up with the girl he was with's phone. Sus, how did I end up with that phone? Because I've never met her in my life. Never. So I'm like, okay, bro. Why did you trade phone? So I end up with her phone, whatever. And she's on the phone with her friend, I guess. And I'm talking to her friend. I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah just came up to me because the guy told me his name. And I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know your name. I didn't want to know your number. I don't want none of your time. Period. And I'm on the phone. I was like, blah, blah, blah just came up to me. Like, begging for my snap. Blah, blah, blah's on the ground crying. Like, don't know who this is. Blah, blah. I was like, what is the password to her phone? So I can add myself on Snap and see where my live location is. Because, I mean, I have it on at all times. And, mind you, my phone's dead at this point. And she's like, blah, blah, blah is her password. And so I started texting her friend in the group chat that they were, like, snapping in. They were like, where's she? Where is she? Where is she? I was like, she's over here by this car. Like, never seen this car in my life. And she's over here with dipshit that just tried to grab me. So at this point, I'm texting in the group chat. I'm like, I'm taking this phone home. And I'm going to put it on the charger. And I remembered her password. Because I don't know how I remembered it, but super brain, I guess. And I was like, I'm going to put it on the charger so we can keep in contact with you guys to get your phone back and possibly get mine back. Because apparently they were with the guy. So we go back to the house, and then we charge it, put it on the charger, whatever, and apparently the guy that grabbed me is with them, and I'm like, okay, you. So I get on her phone when I'm at home, and, well, my mom does, and she's texting in this group chat that they're in. They're like, she's explaining the situation, and they said that this guy just body slammed the girl that was crying on the ground. So I'm like, what the dog doing? So I, trying to think. Oh, so I get on her phone, whatever. I'm texting this guy that's in there and this girl that know the guy that grabbed me and supposedly took my phone. And they're like, we'll be at your house in, like, literally an hour. So we're like, okay. Mind you, it's 2 a.m. at this point. 2 a.m. Literally, all love to everybody that else that helped, try to help me and, like, came to get the girl's phone back. Because, like, you guys are good friends and, like, even though like we are not friends, like you guys are great people for like even trying to help me, considering you know that your friend that grabbed me is a crazy something. I don't know. They said he's crazy, so I mean apparently he's fucking crazy. Sorry guys, I'm back. Had to add a little bit more. So basically, like, they came to my house and they were explaining like they have like no relation with him like whatsoever. They just know him. He wasn't in the group chat, whatever. He's way older than all of them because I knew two of the people in the group chat. He's just him, I guess. After my phone is still missing, the next day we go look for it, it's gone. The next day we look in Find My iPhone because my Live 360 was not updating and it pinged inside of a porta potty. So we think he dumped it in the porta potty because he wanted to get away from me. So for all the guys watching this, if a girl denies you and rejects you and it hurts your ego, do not try again. Do not follow her. And do not dump her phone in the fucking porta potty because that's a fucking issue. I'm going to finish this makeup and I'll show you the end result. I hope you like my story because I'm not liking it either. And once again, I cannot like sit here and say that he did steal my phone because I don't know for sure, but you guys think what you want. Anyways, my makeup looks like crap, so I won't be doing a finished result because I'm gonna redo it. But I hope you guys liked my story, and yeah, don't steal phones. Don't try to attack girls to boost your ego. Don't try to attack boys to boost your ego. I don't know. Just don't steal and don't be a dick. Love y'all. Bye.
In honor of school starting soon, I'm gonna share some of my school stories. Okay, we're gonna start off in middle school, and basically in middle school, I was pretty cool, okay? Like, I was so cool that I had no friends. Like, I had, like, a few people that, like, I would hang out with sometimes, only ever in school, only ever in those classes, and one of them ended up moving away. One of them was kind of weird. I'm sorry, like, she was weird. She never really came to school, and yeah, it was interesting. And then another girl I tried to be friends with because I knew her from my elementary school, and then she did not want anything to do with me. Like, I would go up to her, try and like talk, try and have like a conversation, and she would just like brush me off as best as she could, like as nicely as she could, which is fine. But anyways, I was like really weird in middle school. Like, I was, and I still am. Like, I'm trying to fix that. But anyways, the only ever outfit that I wore was a sweatshirt and shorts. That was like the only thing I wore for like the entire first quarter. No matter how hot it was, no matter how cold it was, I was pulling up to school in a sweatshirt and shorts, okay? And the exact same black shoes. Also, my hair was like really frizzy and like gross and all like dead and stuff, but that's something else. Basically, one day I decided to dress up a little bit, and I put on jeans, a t-shirt, and then like one of those like a different like button-up shirt over my t-shirt. I left like the buttons open, so it was like a jacket kind of thing. I don't really know if that makes sense. And then I put my hair in a ponytail. When I tell you nobody recognized me whenever I walked into school, I don't even know how. Like, I wasn't horribly different. It's not like I had a full face of makeup on and like a ball gown. Basically, like, I walked into my first period, I sat down, the guy that I sat next to was like, "Oh my god, I didn't even recognize you." And I was like, "Oh." And then I was in lunch, and I was sitting with that one friend that I had, like the one person that I was friends with, and my teacher came up to me and was like, "Are you with the right class? Like, are you new here?" And I was like, "No, I've been here the entire year." And he was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't recognize you. Like, you just look really different." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then to make it worse, this was during COVID, by the way, so like we were all like social distance by like at least like 6 feet or something, like in the cafeteria. And this one girl screamed across the entire cafeteria. It was like, see what happens whenever you come out of your shell." So anyways, I got really cocky after that because I was like, "Oh my god, people like didn't recognize me, like it must be beautiful." So I try to like dress up a little bit more, and we're not talking about that. You know, whenever like a form of like bullying is like whenever like a guy will come up to you and be like, "Oh my god, like my friend thinks that you're so pretty, like he wants your number and stuff." That was like I was always the person that was like chosen for that. Like, yeah, that's cool. And a few times I've actually like fallen for it and like actually talked to the guys. The first incident happened in middle school, actually, but I kind of forgot about this. I talked to him for like a long time. He came up to me with his friends and was like, I think you're really pretty, can I get your Snapchat? And I said yes for some reason. But he was like really desperate for a girlfriend and was like, I'll pay you to be my girlfriend. I will pay you. And I was like, no. Okay, but like, this is actually like a high school now. This happened a lot my sophomore year for some reason. I don't know why. Like, this happened mostly in sophomore year. Basically, this first thing happened on the second day of school. I remember it because it was very traumatic. I walked into my first period class and my water bottle spilled. That's really cool. So I went to go like grab paper towels from like the girls' bathroom, and the girls' bathroom is all the way down the hall for my first period class, but the boys' bathroom is like literally across the hallway. Like, it's right there, like you're face to face with it. And then these guys stopped me like outside of the door and was like, hi, my friend thinks that you're really pretty and he wants your Snapchat, can you get it? And I was like, if he can get me paper towels, then yeah. I probably should have said no. I should have just like continued to get paper towels, but it was really awkward walking down like the entire hallway to go get paper towels and then just like doing that like 8,000 times because my teacher didn't have any paper towels in her classroom. So I said yes. And then I gave him my phone, so then it seemed like I was the one, like, what's it called? Adding him on Snapchat, which was in fact not the case. And so it seemed like he was the one, like, so it looked like I friended him on Snapchat, and then he just like ignored that because he didn't ever add me or anything, which is fine. Like, I'm happy with that. I did not want him to add me. I'm gonna try this and I need to lock in. This is really bad. Anyway, this other time happened with like me and all my friends, so technically it wasn't just me getting called out. Basically, me and my friends like carpooled together, so like we were like walking into school. That's the wrong side, hold on. We were like walking into school and like there was like this corner. We were turning around that corner, and at the same time that we were turning around this corner, this other guy was turning around the corner and like he sprinted past us and was like, I think you're really pretty. And then he like ran away and we didn't see him. He like literally disappeared. Like, we looked back and he wasn't there. Like, I don't know what happened, but yeah, he was probably talking to like all three of us, where it was like a dare from like one of his friends to like walk around that corner and tell whoever was there that they were pretty or whatever. So I'm like really hot. It's like I'm like sweating. Okay, and this other thing happened in math class. By the way, I was a sophomore in freshman math, so, or not, it wasn't freshman math, but I was in a class full of freshmen. Really nice. There was other sophomores in this class, but like I didn't have any friends in this class. Like, I didn't know anybody. I did know a few of the freshmen, and I would like go up and like start to talk to them, and they ignored me, so that was cool. But anyways, we were like all like doing the group work, and then people were like all like working together, but I was working by myself because, like I said, I had no friends. And I was like in the back, because that's where oh my god, my eyebrows look so, I'm so sorry. I was like in the back, because that's where my seat was. All like the freshmen were also like congregated like in the back together, but I was like sitting alone. Everyone else was together. It's fine. So I was trying to do my work, okay? And then this one freshman came up to me and was like, my friend thinks you're really pretty. Can he get your Snapchat? And I was like, no, he cannot. And then he was like, well, my friend thinks like you're really pretty. Like, would you ever date one of us? Like, would you date me or my friend? And I was like, no, I wouldn't. I'm sorry. And then he was like, well, are you sure about that? Like, are you sure that you never date one of us? And I was like, yes. Yes, I am. And then he kept trying to like talk to me and stuff. And oh my god, I kept like saying no, and it just like made it so much more awkward. But I was not about to get like freaking bullied into giving him my Snapchat. Like, no, I'm sorry. By a freshman, by the way. So like those are all like the ones like I can think of off like the top of my head, but I definitely have like more stories about like middle school or high school or like anything. If like even one person asks for more, then I will, because I like talking about it and getting off my chest, because I've never really talked to anyone about like this kind of stuff. Anyways, I hope that like you enjoyed listening to me rant, and then if like you had like a bad time in middle school, then you're not alone, trust me. Bye, I love you.
Hey guys, get ready for me, Storytime edition. Okay, it all starts off with I'm just trying to drive back home from dance. And to get back home from dance, I have to go on the highway, right? So whatever, I'm on the highway. Everything's perfectly fine. I get to where, like, I have to get off, so I get off. So whatever, I get off, and I am getting stuck behind, like, this gray truck, and I'm like, you know what, whatever, I didn't think much of it. Like, he was going a little slow, yes, but, like, I was like, okay, that's nothing. But at this point, I was starting to get annoyed, like, a little bit after, because when I tell you, like, this is, like, it, like, merges into one lane, and then it obviously splits again. I don't know why I said obviously, it's not obvious to you guys, but, like, it's one lane and then it splits, but, like, the one lane goes for a little bit, so, like, I couldn't really switch lanes because there was only one lane. And at this point, it's not just slow, it's, like, unsafe slow. Like, he was going, like, I think 20 on the highway. And was it only, like, a 50, maybe 45? Yes. But, like, so whatever, I'm getting a little aggravated, but I'm like, you know what, just stay calm. I'm not gonna do anything, because obviously I'm gonna stay calm. I'm driving, like, I don't want anything to happen, so I'm gonna stay calm. Because you never know, like, maybe he's having a rough day, maybe, I don't know. But then all of a sudden, this guy starts drifting into, like, not the guardrails, like, the little ridges on the side of the highway. I don't know if all highways have this, but, like, mine has, like, these little, like, things where, like, if you go on them, it, like, basically, like, pushes you over to the other ones, like, or it makes you do that. Because it, like, shakes your car almost, if that makes sense. I don't know what they're called, and if you know what I'm talking about, great. But if you don't, I sound so crazy right now, but whatever. Whatever, he starts drifting off to the side, and there's only one lane, so this guy is, like, about to go off the road, and I was, like, a little concerned at that point. I was like, what are you doing? Are you pulling over? Are you not? But he wasn't signaling, and he wasn't doing anything different, so I was, like, really confused. But he was, at this point, going really slow. But he never pulled over or anything, so we just kept going super slow. At this point, there's, like, a line of cars behind me. Like, they're getting annoyed at me. I'm getting annoyed at him a little bit. And then after way too long, we finally get to the part where it shifts into 2 lanes again. He, of course, doesn't go into the 2 lanes. Instead, you know what he does? He drifts into the middle of the 2 lanes, so nobody could go to the left or to the right. He was on top of the line that splits the 2. At this point, I'm thinking maybe he's intoxicated, like, something's wrong. Because no person in the right state of mind just casually goes on top of the 2 lines in the middle of 2 lanes after drifting and going that slow. Okay, change of lighting, because that lighting was really bad. But anyways, so at this point, I'm starting to get a little concerned, because I'm like, what if this guy, like, doesn't drive? Like, there's so many possibilities. Like, what if he gets out of the car? Like, so many things running through my head. But at this point, we were all stuck at a red light, so we couldn't really move, whatever. Red light switches to a green light. He drifts over into the left lane where I was trying to get into. And I'm sitting here like, great. Like, I was praying in my head that he was going to go to the right, but no. He wanted to go to the left, so whatever, he went to the left. But then he put his blinker on for the right and the left, like, multiple times, like, in a row, and I don't know what he was doing. I was like, is this car going to break? Like, what's going on? Because at this point, I was no longer thinking, like, he's intoxicated. I was thinking, like, oh no, what if his car is an issue? Like, maybe he physically can't, like, control his car. So I was like, okay, oh no. And the only reason I thought this is because he kept on flickering his lights, like, signaling different directions, and I just didn't understand what he was trying to do, because he wasn't moving, but he also was going, like, literally, like, 5 miles an hour. Again, super slow, but now even slower than before, like, barely moving. At this point, people start beeping and freaking out behind me. I'm starting to beep, and we're all just kind of like, what is going on? But then all of a sudden, he stops in the middle of the road, in the middle of, like, getting off the highway. Stops. Full stop. And now at this point, there's people passing us on the right side, so I can't go in that lane because there's so many cars. And on the left lane, I'm stuck right behind this guy, and I can't leave. Then at this point, everybody starts beeping like crazy. Like, literally, I've never heard that many car horns in my life. I think I've only ever used my car horn, like, one other time, maybe. But it wasn't like this. When I tell you guys, I laid on the horn. I was like, did he, like, fall asleep? Like, what's going on? Like, why are we stopping in the middle of the road? Then all of a sudden, he turns his left blinker on again. So I'm like, oh my god, not this again. But no, he turns his left blinker on after stopping in the middle of the road. To the left, mind you guys, it's a two-way. So, like, there's people coming this way. We're trying to go this way, so it's a complete different direction. You can't go that way. There's the line, like, you can't go that way. He turned his directional on, and you know what he did? You know what he did after all of that? He waited for the cars to go, and then safely, not safely, actually, because if I wasn't paying attention, I would have crashed into him, rear-ended him, a whole bunch of stuff. But whatever, thank gosh I was. Thank God. But he turned his blinker on and turns around. Like, fully does a U-E in the middle of the road onto the other side of the road. Like, just goes the wrong way. And then, but since it's such a close like road, he had to reverse. He reversed on the middle of the highway, stopped in the middle of the highway. Like, okay, maybe it wasn't the middle of the highway because we were getting off the highway, but still, it was like the highway. It's the road. It's illegal. Like, I don't. And this is just your average day in Massachusetts if people don't know how to drive. But yeah, he turns, reverses, and speeds off. And I was sitting here like, what just happened? And then we go a little further, and then there's a set of lights again. And I looked to my right, and there's this couple sitting in their car, and they were right behind me. And they literally were like both of them were like, wow. And I could see them like lip syncing, wow, or whatever you want to call it, like saying it. And I was literally like, what just happened? Like, the amount of things that were like running through my head, I was literally like, what do I do? But like, I was driving, so it's not like I could have like, I don't know, used my phone to take a picture of the car and like report it. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, this is my first time dealing with somebody changing directions in the middle of like getting off the highway. Like, he just fully did a U-turn and reversed and did so many things, and I was so scared because I thought his car was gonna malfunction. Maybe he would reverse into me, maybe he would like go super fast and stop. So I was also just going really precautiously slow because I was like horrified, but all is good. That's the story, guys. I know I really exaggerated that story, but I didn't know what else to talk about, and just get ready with me. So peace, love. Hope you guys have a great day. If you like this video, please follow me. I don't know what to post. If you have better ideas, comment. Thanks. Story time of how I greened out in school. So our story starts off my freshman year, and basically I was friends with this girl. Let's call her Shelby. Basically, in high school, I always had a vape, and she always had a cart. So we would always just like trade back and forth. On this specific day, it was like any other day, you know, we passed our shit back and forth, and I hear her cart, and it was a cake dispo cart, which you know, like those shits hit you like a fucking semi truck. So I don't do any more or less than I usually do. I took one long one, and then I took a little baby one after. And like, at first, I was just fine. I think this was in like second period. So like, I was fine that whole hour, and then it was time to go to third period. And as I'm walking to my third period, I'm like, ooh, like it's hitting, like, shoo, I feel good. I literally had choir, so I literally had to stand up like the whole class. So it's not really like the class you want to be geeked in, but whatever. So I'm like feeling normal until like I get to my choir class, and I just knew something wasn't right. Like, I was so geeked. Like, I was on fucking cloud like 11. My nausea was so bad to the point where I had to like sit down like while everyone else was standing. And literally, when everyone else was like sitting down and the choir teacher was like sitting in a chair like in front of all of us, I literally had fucking tunnel vision. And I could literally see like my choir teacher, and just like everything around him was black. It was honestly that moment I knew like I was fucked. This girl that I talked to in there noticed that something was wrong, and when it was like time to like leave, she like offered to go get my backpack because it was like in the cubbies where everyone else's stuff was. So she goes, gets my stuff, and the bell rings, and so we're all leaving, and as I'm walking out, I can feel like I'm about to throw up. So I try and like hurry up and like run to the bathroom. Of course, all the fiends in there already got there before I did, so no stalls were open, so I ended up literally just puking all over the floor. I didn't eat breakfast, so when I threw up, it was literally, I kid you not, it was like water, but it was like green. Like, there was green shit in my throw up. So in that moment, I'm like, fuck, like, I don't want to get in trouble. So a teacher ends up coming in there because I guess someone like told a teacher that like someone was puking all over the bathroom. They didn't know it was me somehow. And she comes in and she's like, is anyone throwing up in here? And I just leave because my shit is literally green on the floor. Like, it's so obvious. So I just try to go to my next hour, which was Spanish, and I'm sitting there, and mind you, like, I still had some throw up, like, in my mouth, so I was, like, trying to, like, swallow it back down, but it ended up getting back in my system, so I felt sick all over again. So I go up to my Spanish teacher, and I'm like, hey, can I go use the bathroom? She says yes. So I'm running to the bathroom, and I end up throwing up on the floor again. In the middle of the hallway, mind you. Okay, I had to finish all the rest off camera, but basically, someone saw me puke all over the floor, and they went and got the nurse, and I just went to the nurse, and I just played it off like I had a stomach bug, and I ended up not getting caught. My parents got called, and I went home, and yeah, it was just like, I just had a stomach bug. Please do not be a dumbass like me and Green out in school, but I hope you guys enjoyed the story. If you want to hear more story times, let me know. Hello, today we're going to be talking about an 8th grade day from hell. So wake up, don't even feel like going to school. You wake up, you have the worst stomach ache ever. You wake up and you're like, okay, my stomach just hurts. You go to the restroom, you literally let go of like 30,000 pounds just in the matter of 30 minutes. But you're already late to school, so why even try to go? But you already have way too many absences, so you have to get your butt up and go to school before you get in trouble with the counselor, and they do a house check because you're like never at school anyway, so why are you even gonna try? You show up to first block and your teacher proceeds to scream at you because you have a bunch of missing assignments, and your first block is math, which you're so good at, but the teacher's so bad at explaining everything that you're jealous of your friends for having a different teacher because everything's going wrong and you like feel like you don't want to exist anymore due to said teacher. So you finish first block, you don't do the assignments anyway, you never have a free day, and then you go to the restroom and it smells like straight pot. What is this? Ew, sorry. You go to second block and you have the most Nazi sounding teacher ever. It's this tall, fat, white guy with extreme white hair, and he never shuts up. And matter of fact, beautiful kiddo is constantly complaining. He's not a freaking child. I'm sorry about that. And then Mr. Nazi is always complaining about the fact that you wear too much makeup. Mind you, you weren't even allowed to wear makeup at the time, so you would just take everything a little baggy to school so you could do it during first block. But you'd end up going to the restroom to do it and taking like 40 minutes in the restroom, which each block is like 45 minutes, so you never do anything. Mr. Nazi, I'm sorry I'm calling you Mr. Nazi, that's kind of mean, but like that's kind of what he sounded like. He would force students to watch videos of chicken being made. So basically he would let you guys watch traumatizing videos that altered your brain chemistry. You finish second block and you go to your favorite class, band. I loved it so much. My third block was honor band because I was a very great student and haha hashtag praising myself, but I had lots of fun. But I've never wanted to like go to school in general, so I would always miss out so much. And I was first chair. I was section leader all 3 years of middle school, and honestly it was the best experience ever. It would be the only class you'd be happy in. Fourth block, you have ELAR, right? But you had it with a teacher who didn't care about your studies, so you'd constantly be failing the class because the teacher would be too up into the chisme going on in class instead of paying attention to your grades. And so you'd always be struggling, and she'd even sit you next to her just to have the annoying classic Latina baddie girls bother you and not shut up the whole time. So by the end of the year, you were already in a pre-AP class because you couldn't focus in the class you were in, and you ended up failing English anyway because you didn't learn anything. So then after you switch to a different class, you and your boyfriend are going through a really hard time, and you break up with him during that class. You didn't know what to do. You literally didn't know what to do. You break up with him, and the only words coming out of your mouth is, I regret this already. I'm probably gonna like end my shit after this. I don't know what to do. You guys spend a whole week on and off, and you guys end up getting back together. Yippee. And you fix things, you talk it out, and you guys promise that you guys will never break up unless one or the other cheated on each other. So yeah. But then you end up getting called into the counselor during 6th block, and your friends are saying that you're a narcissist. And mind you, you thought some of them were on your side, but turns out the friend that you thought was on your side was just switching up everything so she wouldn't get in trouble. You go back to 6th block crying, and there's one of your guy friends who is not gonna end up lasting long because he's gonna move into the valley. You talk to him and vent to him, and turns out he broke up with his girlfriend for you, but you didn't like him. Can we not? But then turns out you miss him very dearly because he was like one of the only people who would understand you, but sadly you can't speak to him anymore due to circumstances. So frick that, right? You go into last block and you have your whole friend group in there, and you're just sad now because all of your friends just admitted to you that they all hated you collectively for multiple different things, and you proceed to just give up and sit there in class crying until you meet this guy, right? He's so sweet, he's so nice, he likes your best friend, the one who said you were a narcissist. Mind you, me and that girl aren't friends anymore, and him and her dated, but that didn't last long because guess what? She called him a narcissist too. And so you get home and you're crying to your mother about everything that's happened to you, and then she just doesn't care. He's like, okay, whatever, right? But you only come for us at home, so you're okay with her saying that because honestly, she's right. You shouldn't let stuff like that go over you like that. Thank the Lord, nothing bad ever happened to me during my 8th grade year. But all I'm gonna say is pick your friends wisely, because sometimes the ones that say that love you the most end up leaving. And that's a day in 8th grade from hell. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, get ready with me while I tell y'all how I found out I was being cheated on my birthday. Okay. So, I already did like my whole face. I recorded this already, and the audio was just no longer there. Anyways, so it was my birthday. Hold on. Okay, anyways, so it was my birthday, and so me and him have just kind of like a different relationship. You know, he enjoyed his freedom. I'm really just was just all about him, to say the least. Anyways, like I said, it was my birthday, doing stuff at home with my family, you know. Family made me a cake, this and that. And so it was just all day like, hey, when can I see you? Of course, he like told me happy birthday, he loved me and all this and that. He's like, I'll see you later. Anyways, so I had to work that day. I picked up a shift because it's just like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna see you all day. I'm just not gonna sit here and mope. So I worked, oh, well, I'm not gonna say where I worked. But anyways, so we closed around like 9 p.m. whatever, and so I knew I wasn't gonna see him until late. And so he was already just acting kind of like standoffish. I really just did not hear from him all day. And to me, I was like, oh, well, maybe he's planning something. Maybe he's actually like a romantic or something, and he's gonna get me flowers, you know, he's gonna get me a cake and something like that. I'm not expecting like a big old gift or anything, but you know, just something whenever he said he's gonna see me after work. So whatever, I get off of work and I still don't really hear from him. And so I'm already getting irritated because it's like we had plans, obvious plans, like I was just gonna go stay the night with him. You know, just end my night with him as I always do. And so whatever. So our situation was just kind of like where I was always welcome at his house. I could go in there and go in at any time I want. His grandparents, he obviously lived with his grandparents, and I had a really good relationship with them. And you know, it's like, hey grandma, hey grandpa, I'm coming over, or just, you know, come unannounced. That's just the kind of relationship we had. So it was already like 10-11 p.m. whatever, and I still haven't heard from him, whatever. And so I call his grandma. I'm like, hey grandma, where's so and so? Oh, mija, he's in the room right now, he's asleep. Oh, okay, he's at home, he's asleep, but he can't text me back, whatever. So I'm already irritated. Number one, like, it's my birthday, you're not texting me back. Like, what are you doing? You're asleep. No, we're not doing this. Mind you, I was a crazy ass bitch, okay? I wasn't putting up with none of that. You're not gonna ignore me. I'm not stupid. I am a little stupid. Anyways, so I get off of work, you know, I go home, I go shower, whatever, and get ready. You know, I pack my little spend the night bag, even though I literally have all my stuff over there at his house. I'm just like, okay, you know what? He's just asleep. That's it. That's all. I'm gonna go wake him up. Be like, did you forget about me? And you know, call it even. I mean, ain't nothing even. I'm showing up unannounced. So, anyways, so I get there. I walk in. His grandma lets me in. So I get there and she's like, oh, he's sleeping in the room. Okay, whatever, cool. So I go in there and I wake him up. I'm like, hey, babe, wake up, wake up. And he just looks like he's seen a ghost. And he was fucked up, okay? And so I wasn't as mad because he's fucked up. Like, he was the type, whenever he got fucked up, that meaning, like, he would do shit like that. And I hated whenever he would do shit like that because, like, that shit brings out a different side of you. And I dealt with it. That's a whole different story. Anyways, so, you know, he gets up because he's like, oh shit, what are you doing here? I said, grandma let me in. He's like, okay, cool. You staying the night or what? I'm like, yes. He's like, okay, keep the lights off. Keep the lights off. Why? Because I'm fucked up and the light's gonna get bright and I don't feel good. And I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever. I said, but I can't see. Mind you, it gets pitch black in there. You can't see shit. You gotta use flashlight. No, don't use the flashlight. Just put yourself down, come lay down. Okay, cool. So I get ready, lay in bed, you know, where, you know, this and that. And I'm like, why do you smell like that? He's like, smell like what? Like, you just smell weird. You smell off. You smell like musty. Go shower or something. He's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, you stink. You stink, fool. Go wash your ass. Mind you, this man cannot get up. He is fucked up. So I try to help him up and he's like, no. Mind you, he puts on his jacket. I had bought him like this polo jacket and it has like a collar and he puts it on, zips it up. I'm like, what are you doing? You're acting weird. He's like, I'm just cold. It's the and so I'm like, okay. Goes to the restroom. And so I hear him turn on the sink. Whatever. Like instantly right away. And you know how some people, they turn on the sink so they don't hear you like use the restroom. That's not the case. Like, I would be in there like while he's shitting. So that was never anything like weird. Anyway, so that was weird. Him to just turn on the water. I'm like, why you turn on the water? So he had it on for a little while and I just hear I hear him tussling in that restroom, like dropping shit left and right. I'm just like, are you okay? He don't say nothing. So I get up and I'm like, what are you doing? And I open the door and he has a baby wipe under the water, wiping him. No bird bath, but he's cleaning himself off, okay? And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing, bro? I'm like, why would you do that? He's like, oh man, you said I was musty. I'm like, okay, shower. Why are you doing that? Anyways, lights are still off. There was like a lamp in that restroom, so I really couldn't see. I'm like, it was nothing weird that we would keep lights off, just because they would like to save on the electric bill, so they would try to keep as many lights off as possible. And there was a lamp in the restroom, whatever. So I help him to the room and I'm just like, I'm not stupid. I know what you were doing. Whatever. And then I turn on the light. I'm like, why are you wearing that jacket? Why are you wearing that jacket? And so I see him turn his head, and I just see full of hickeys. All right there. And I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. And he's just sitting there like, damn. Mind you, he's just fucked up. And I'm just sitting here crying. And I'm like, why would you do this? It's my birthday. It's my birthday. This is why you want to be with me. I picked up a shift just because I thought you were busy. I called you. Where were you? You brought her here while I was at work. And he was like, nah, we were in her car. I'm like, because that makes it any better. And the whole time I didn't get not one single apology. The whole time I was like, oh, why don't you love me? Why don't you love me? We were gonna work this out. Why aren't you begging for me to stay? Why aren't you doing this? Why? The whole time he's just like, leave. Bye, go. And there wasn't one single time where I told him I was gonna leave. Why? You may ask. The world would never know. I don't know.
Story time, how I fought my own best friend. And sorry if my story times are super long, but I can't add the whole achievement into 60 seconds. Trust me, I tried and no. So long story short, I met this girl back in 2022. She was a lot younger than me. We were best friends. We became best friends like since the start, girl. Like when I tell you she was super nice to me, whatever. But later on it started to get a little more, ill vibes. Like we were cool to the point where I went to her house and stuff, like we would buy each other stuff. Like I bought her like ice cream, she would buy me little bracelets. Like it was a cute little friendship, I'll give it that. But fast forward a couple months passed and I started being friends with everybody else. Oh, here's a foundation because everybody keeps asking me for it and I keep typing it in the comments and apparently everybody ignores it, but here it is. But I genuinely think she didn't like the fact that I was like being friendly with other girls, like if she had a problem with the girl she could have told me, but she never told me nothing. Until this one time in particular, she really threw me off with the little comments she was making though. She was like, oh, like my uncle is from Colombia. If you know from Colombia, it's known for the booger sugar being really good. Not that I know. But she was like, yeah, he really is like that. Like, girl, like my family. And I was like, bitch, if it was a fucking Chapo 2.0 motherfucker, why the fuck are you coming to this ghetto school? Why don't you pay $1,000 to go to a private school? And the shorty just stayed quiet. I guess that's what kind of like bothered her, because I literally humbled her. I was like, girl, what the heck? Like, don't try to claim something you are not. And ever since that day, I guess it just got under her skin. And then literally another week passes by and she's like, oh, I'm really a hood. And I was like, girl, what the hood? And I literally told her, I was like, oh, so what's your, bandana color? Because, this girl hit me with a gray. Bitch, what the fuck you mean gray? Like this kind of gray? She was like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck does that stand for? She was like, it stands for peace. I seen the movie Boys in the Hood and all that bullshit, and I never seen none of that. So that's when I realized, I was like, I need to distance myself from this fucking bitch. The fuck? She false claiming and she swears she's a fucking narco? What the fuck? So then she had invited me to her house, right? And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go to your house. Bitch, I go. This bitch live in the suburbs. I was like, this is what you call the hood? Bitch, I was youngin' with no fucking milk. I had to eat cereal right out the box. I had to get food from the cafeteria and bring it back home. I would eat my own boogers. Just kidding. Like, don't get me wrong. Her house was nice as fuck or whatever. Like, it was cool. Look, I have evidence that I went. For certain reasons, this is me and this is her. I went to her house, bro. But honestly, I was pretty shocked because I was like, girl, you said that you're from the hood and you live in a nice, pretty house. Like, don't get me wrong. That's good that you live in a nice home, Hey. But after that, like, ever since that day, like, after that, bro, like, we just, like, I don't know. She would make, like, certain little comments, like, try to make me look bad in front of dudes. Like, she had that habit of trying to make me look bad in front of dudes. Like, this one time, she knew I liked this other guy, right? Tell me why. She's like, oh, you want my water bottle so you won't have to go to your car? We had gotten into an argument that day in class. I think I have the video. It won't let me upload it, but long story short, me and her were, I just called her desperate ass bitch, and she was like, for who? For who? So this is where things start to get, you know, a little escalated. So literally the principal had came for her to the class. He came for her. As soon as she reaches outside the door, she starts getting rattled up. Come find me, bitch, come outside. I was like, ho, is you cool? Like, I know this girl ain't stupid enough to try to argue with two girls knowing damn well she about to get jumped. Like, and ever since that day, me and her fell out hard. Fast forward next year. This is already junior year. I had her for all my fucking classes. The principal and the counselor knew damn well what had happened between me and her the year prior. Like, girl, when I tell you this girl was a big bully, like, she would talk so much shit. Like, I would literally be sitting in front of her and she'd be like, yeah, last time we argued and she didn't even do nothing. That bitch scary, fucking pussy ass bitch. Like, wait, no mames, güey, eres una pinche morrida, te puedo partir tu puta madre la verga. And this went on for, like, I think more than a month of her just talking shit. Like, she'll walk past by me, like, she'll laugh, she'll talk. Her and her little fucking minions will look at me and laugh. She was one of those fucking bitches that needed an army to laugh at me. So then there's this one day I had her for this one class, right? She was talking to this one guy behind me and was like, oh, like, why aren't you and her friends no more? Y'all used to be best friends. This girl just started talking out of her ass and was like, oh, fuck that bitch, you know, she ain't doing nothing that day. I posted up with her. Mind you, she didn't even post up. She posted right outside the door knowing damn well the principal was holding her. So I was like, okay, bitch, all right. So as soon as class is dismissed, it's already time to go home, mind you. Like, this shorty was walking in front of me. Like, girl, is you dumb? Like, I could literally catch you behind your back. But I was like, nah, we're gonna make it fair. Her grandma picks her up, bro. When I tell you that she had the balls to laugh, look at me and look at her grandma. Her and her old ass fucking granny look at me and start laughing, bro. I was like, ain't no way her and her fucking granny are talking shit about me. The fuck? Bitch, you're about to die. The fuck? My bad, because TikTok people be sensitive. And I was super cool with the security guard. I was like, yo, mister, I'm warning you, I'm gonna fight the bitch tomorrow. He hit me with a, no, it's not worth it, no, wooty woo. I was like, bro, nah. Shorty keep talking shit and, like, she think I'm some weak bitch. So next day comes around. Girl, when I tell you I wake up, I don't even put makeup on. I am ready to squabble up, you know? I slick my hair down, right? Like, I'm talking about slick, tight ponytail, extra hairspray, extra gel, no lashes, and rings. Bro, I pull up fast as hell to school that morning. I pull up, but I'm like, I'm not gonna fight her this early. I'm gonna wait till second period. Wooty woo. Second period comes around. I see her walking. I was like, yo, bitch. I was like, stop talking so much shit, bitch, and running, hoe. The fuck? When I tell you, her and her little fucking friend laughed at me, I was like, oh, you wanna laugh, puta? And this one guy in particular saw me pressing her, so he was like, oh shit. So me and him start walking in class, the same class we had her in, second period. And he was like, oh, once we go in, he was like, oh, are you gonna fight her? Like, out loud, bro. Me being already mad as fuck, I was like, yes, but the bitch don't want to post up with her fucking fake ass. Girl, I said out loud, I ain't give a fuck. Back then, I was a little, you know, little ghetto. Class starts and they take away our phones. Tell me why this bitch waits till we all get our phones back. This bitch feeling bold. She's like, so what you say about me? What you say about me? I didn't even argue with her. I was like, run it. She did not motherfucking run it. So I ended up throwing the first punch where I fucked up. Boom, we started tussling. Tell me what this girl starts pulling my hair, bro. Like, in the video you can see she pulls my hair first. I get mad. I say boom on the edge of the table. Like, it's not, the fight wasn't like, oh my god. No, it was a little small fight, but still. Boom, she's on the ground. I start punching her. She ends up biting my middle finger. She was hungry for me. Fast forward, the fight's over. She's from her nose and mouth, where her dumb ass just goes like this and ends up spreading it all over her face. Then the principal comes in rushing, and she's like, oh my god, did you? And I was like, nope, the fuck. And fast forward, her parents ended up pressing charges on me. And she swore that she was about that life, that she was a gangster. Bitch, what the fuck? And due to TikTok regulations, I don't think I could post it on here. But I'll post it on my close friends. So follow me on Instagram. If you know, you know. But yeah, that bitch ended up pressing charges and acted like the victim in front of the judge and said that I was bullying her. So there you guys have it. That's a story time when I fought this fucking stupid ass girl.
Look, I have a leaf on me. So 8th grade has passed, and a lot of time has passed, and I feel more comfortable sharing the stories about what happened in 8th grade. People have had far things worse happen, but I wanted to share my story. We're going to start off strong. Substances. I didn't really have anything, so I would try to makeshift. Okay, this is catnip, nutmeg, Sharpies, all those things. The pretty basic what people would do if they don't have anything on them. So that happened. Secondly, so I got suspended, and this was because I was in the locker room, and this girl had this really flavorful nick, okay? And I really wanted that shit, so I was just like, we were puffing on it. The teacher walks behind me, and the girl in front of me who has the nick is just like staring at me, just being like, and I look behind me. I see her. There's a cloud of smoke above my head, which I didn't comprehend. Okay, so I know that I'm about to go get suspended because she walked straight out, and I knew that. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the counselors and just, like, report a different thing. So there was this one girl, I can name drop this specific name, Ayla. She had made a plan to kill me. She slapped her mom multiple times. She went to my house one time, tried to drag me off my bed by my feet. She searched through all my stuff and stole my clothes. So I went to the counselors, and I was just like, I'm really worried about Ayla, whatever. And she's like, actually, we have a report for you at the main office. Anyway, got suspended. People called me a snitch for years, but police officers are really scary, okay? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That was really fucked up of me to snitch, but also at the same time, I was really terrified. Okay, I didn't know what would happen. The threats, okay, anyway. Besides the point. I was really obsessed with this one boy. We're gonna call him Aaron, okay? Really obsessed with Aaron. Just wanted to see if he was a good person or not, okay? So I made this fake account, and I asked him, can you send me ab pics? And he was like, can you send me? And so I was like, yeah, didn't, okay. So I did this, like, you know, this, and faked it as, like, my, and did not believe that, blocked me. I don't think he ever found out that that was me trying to see if he was a good person or not, and trying to see if he would be a good person while we were dating. Update, wasn't a good person, was just one of those boys. I'm trying to figure out my lashes. There's just something wrong with them today. But that happened, okay? So same thing with this boy, okay? I was just, like, in a mood. I was just, like, texting people, like, what I wanted to, just kind of, like, just saying whatever came to my mind. I told my friend I wanted to, and, so that didn't go well. So that went a rumor across the school. Absolute rumor. People were coming up to me being like, did you do it? Did you say? And I was like, no, where are you getting this from? Like, rumors go around fast. He ended up having to go to the counselors, explaining to the counselor that he did not do that, and that I was just, like, an obsessed bitch. That was terrifying. There are multiple instances with that counselor. Okay, so I posted a video. So it was, like, my first day at school, whatever. I got stood up by this one friend I was trying to hang out with, and she was hanging out with another person at the same time, posted a whole story, and, like, I was at the mall waiting for her to come to the mall, and I almost, like, I think she stood you up, girl. Really upset about it, start crying, go to the bathroom. I posted TikTok about it. It goes absolutely viral on TikTok, and then someone takes my video and reposts it to Instagram Reels. My principal is walking through the hallway the next day. He's like, I think I saw you on my Instagram Reels. I think I saw you crying. How am I supposed to respond to that? Actually, how am I supposed to respond to that? I was just like, okay. What? I also got a concussion at school because I ran into a pole. So that was fun. And then my teacher didn't believe me until I literally was dizzy,
fainting in the middle of the hallway. That school was it was messed up. My parents tried to send me to a boarding school. I was also in group therapy and got so faded before every therapy session because I just did not want to be there. That was just shit. I did not want to do that. I'm trying to think. There was something really important that I had to mention. Oh, yeah. Okay. On my birthday, I had gotten a reminder from the freaking school about so I was supposed to go to California and do this whole Californian thing. I was really excited for it and everything. On my birthday, I'm walking around, I almost said my hometown name. I was walking around Chicago, and my mom gets this call, and the vice principal literally tells her that I can't go anymore because I got suspended. That's fun. That's really fucking fun. I also got alcohol poisoning because right after a choir thing, I thought I sung awfully, and I just was really fucking messed up with life, and so I just, yeah. I lost basically all my friends, so that was fun. The only friend I had, my gerbil, and my best friend Brooke, which we got in fights too. Like, I blocked her multiple times. We didn't talk multiple times. Also had a super bad eating disorder, so I would pass out on my bike every day. Yeah, that's all I can think of for right now, but there is more stories, especially for freshman year, so please tell me if you want a part 2. Bye.
Hi guys, get ready with me as I talk about a story about how me and my friend almost got kidnapped. And DM me if you want me to tell one of your stories on one of my Get Ready With Me. Alright, so we go back maybe like last school year. Maybe to the end, but not really the end. Maybe a month or two before the end of the school year. And she was over at my house. So we're gonna call my friend Jessica. So me and Jessica were on my scooter, gonna go to my riding to my old house because I just moved houses to a different house in the community, and I was gonna go to get the volleyball that was still at my old house. We wanted to play volleyball, and so we go to my volleyball. By the way, the scooter's about to die, but we're only going 8 miles per hour. You know what? We still wanted to go to the house. By the way, we still had to go to the volleyball court, but we were just stupid. So we're at a stop sign, about to turn, and we see this rusty car, and then we were at the stop sign kind of next to it, and it just looks at us. Straight up just turns his head, just stares at us. And we're just oh, did I just do that? And I'm no, whatever. And then we just brush it off. Then we turn. So after we turn. So yeah, we turn, and then the guy turns the same way we turn, right? Maybe he's turning away. We didn't think anything of it. But I don't know why. I had a really gut feeling that not good feeling. So then there was a trail when I turned, so I'm just go through that trail with the car came through there, and then it leads the same way, but yeah, so I'm just to that way. So then we go to the trail, and then when we get to the end of the trail, the car is parked at the end of the street where we get out the trail. And then as soon as we get out the trail, I tell her I see the car parked, and as soon as we get out the trail, the car starts gets out of park, and then starts driving down the road to where we were. Then I go, the car's just unparked, falling behind us, and then she just starts screaming and putting the scooter back and forth to try to make it go faster, but it was just making it go slower. But then yeah, and then as soon as she started screaming, the car took the biggest 360 biggest U-turn and just started going the other way. No, but it's the fact that when she started screaming, I was just laughing to the top of my god. I can't take anything serious. It's it was bad. But the bad thing was that I didn't mean to cut it. We were in our bathing suits going to the pool because the volleyball had a pool with it. But we had shorts on and our towels, but I don't know. I don't know if maybe he was following us to kidnap us because our scooter was going slow and we couldn't do anything or something like that. But then when I got home to tell my mom the story, she was yeah, when I was on my run, some guy was watching her too and trying to like talk to her or like something like that, and I like described the car to her. And then she goes, yes, it's the same exact car, like, or like similar to the same exact car that like sorry guys, that was like trying to ask me questions and like was following me while I was on my run. Holy, what is this? It's not straight, like I give up, bro. I really don't know how to do this, but you know, we're just learning. But anyways, that's basically what happened. And like, good thing she screamed because I was laughing my booty off, and like that was like bad.
Get ready with me while I talk about all the crazy things slash how bad I used to humiliate myself while I worked as a lifeguard. So I was just thinking back to my days where I used to lifeguard, and like I swear on a daily freaking basis I embarrassed myself like countless time and time again. Like that era of my life was just, I did so many stupid, humiliating things. So like the one that comes to mind right away was it was a rainy day. So like when it's super rainy at our pool, like we don't get a lot of patrons obviously, so us being teenagers at the time, we were like, okay, sick, we can just fuck around because nobody's here, like we're getting paid to go play in the rain. So we're like running around the pool playing hide and seek, doing a bunch of like stupid shit like that. And at the time we'd have like park patrol come and watch our pool. So it's kind of like, it's like park police, so it's like a police officer but like not really, and they're just like the park staff that, I don't know, like security, I don't know. But there is this park police officer who always came to our pool, and me and my coworkers at the time, we had a little joke about him because he was fine shite. Like we were like, okay, like, yeah, right, like he was Officer Cutie, like, you know. So we would always make a joke about that, me and my stupid, immature coworkers. And we're running outside in the rain because we're like 17. And I run inside into the guard building, which is like, it's like a huge, like a bunch of like huge doors you can just run in. And then like the ground in there in the building, it's like not concrete, it's like slippery. So I slip and fall on my ass right below actually Officer Hottie. And he looks down at me, he's like, and I'm just like, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. I also am on the news from that job. There was like a clip of me guarding the pool, and like the headlines like, bacteria levels keep pool closed for longer. Like, oh cute, I'm just the bacteria pool gal. I'm just the face of the bacteria pool. I love that. That's everything. That's my 15 minutes of fame right there on the local news. As a girl lifeguard, like you get flirted on, like, and flirted with, or like flirted with by all types of people. And the worst would be like flirty little prepubescent, like little 12-year-old boys who, like, I don't know like what the fuck was up with that, but like there was these two boys who like religiously would try to flirt with me and my friends, and we're just like, can you stop, you're literally a child. And these little children were just so persistent. Like it was like the Sandlot kid with a lifeguard. Like, it's like, dude. The worst was like one of the kids, so he climbs out of the pool I'm guarding, and he comes over to me and he's like, hey, like, Lola, what's that over there? And he points at me and his fingers go like this. And then I'm like, what? I look over and then I feel his wet little hand just grab my chin, and he's like, do not touch me. Do not touch me. Yeah, I was like, get away from me right now, Buster Brown. Like, what the fuck are you? And that was just like one of many of the weird little children. I don't know, that job was just so odd. So many things happened. Like, I talked about that guy who like poured his suspicious white powder in the pool right in front of me, and he was like, only live once. And I'm like, someone just threw drugs in the pool. Yeah, that happened. There was the drive-by where we had to like go on lockdown. that was interesting. Then at like a different pool, like I wasn't even there, but like there was at this different pool where like these patrons got an altercation and my coworker went in to like stop the fight and he got punched. Right. And then there was the umbrella incident, which I've told you guys before, where I'm like, I have to go to this crappy pool because my pool's currently closed because the bacteria, obviously. I go to this like pool in the really shitty part of town. This pool is like falling apart. It's crumbling. It is crumbling. And I go sit in a guard chair and I'm like, that's weird that the guard chair moved because they're supposed to be bolted to the cement. So like, how did the chair go from here to here? Like, it should be bolted down. Like, it literally says like it on the chair is like bolt chair down in all like giant red letters. So I'm like, that's weird. So it's a windy day. Okay, that was weird. It's a windy day. I've got my umbrella. The wind catches up underneath my umbrella and it starts getting yanked out of the stand. So I grab it, but my chair's not bolted down. So me, the umbrella, and the chair fucking dunk on the cement, and I had to go to the ER because we thought I fucking got a concussion. And I've got like a gnarly, ugly little scar from that whole ordeal. Interesting times. We'd also play water polo during rainy days, and my boss at the time, he's like in the fucking Marines now. He would low-key, like, I think he was trying to kill me. Like, he would push me underwater and hold me down, and I'm like, right. Also, we'd always play boys versus girls. Like, how is that fair when you have like 3 like 16, 17-year-old girls and you have like a dude who's like 23 and 2 other like muscular teenagers? Like, how is that fair? Y'all trying to fucking like, y'all trying to commit a homicide. Speaking of douchebag coworkers, there's another coworker of mine where like we would jump off into the diving well during safety break and he would jump in after me and dunk my head underwater, like, consistently. And then like we would always like hang out at the diving well again during safety break and like push each other off, which was fun in games until somebody reported us and they were like, these lifeguards are too busy fucking around, which like low-key true. Like we played way too much, but when an emergency happened, we did lock in. Like, we might have been fucking stupid, but like when something bad happened, we were locked and loaded. Speaking of something bad happening, like, I almost fainted once while on duty, which was fucking scary. It was like the hottest fucking day of my life. It was so hot. I was so dehydrated. And like the pool was packed. So I'm like kneeling down. I do like 3 fucking like reaching assists in a row where I throw out my tube. Little kid grabs on the tube. I bring him to shore. I'm like, okay, why don't you get out of the water? Oh, there's your fucking brother. I gotta get you too. Da-da. So I finally, like, I'm kneeling. I stand up. My vision, dunk. Like, I'm just like, I can't see anything. My like, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, there's probably little kids like under me still drowning and I can't fucking see. Like, genuinely, my vision blacked out and it finally comes back in. It's really spotty. I feel woozy as hell. I'm like, fuck, dude. So I double whistle, like, which is so like a head guard knows that like something's up, like, come on over. That's what a double whistle means. My head guard, one of them, she's across the pool from me. She looks at me and I'm looking at her and she just walks away and I'm like, duh. So I'm sitting there like swaying there, like finally I get rotated by the douche who pushes me a lot and he's like, you good? And I'm like, no, I was fainted. And he's like, okay, just relax. Like, so I go into the guard office and I just break down crying and I'm like, I was fainted, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I hate that bitch, that head guard Julia. I'm like, girl, what fucking ever, asshole. Like, that's negligence, bro. I don't care. We also played soccer once. It's always during a rainy day. We all played soccer out in the field and we were all barefoot, and again we decided boys versus girls because I was going to shoot the ball and against this like giant fucking like college soccer player, and he blocks it with his shin and I kick him right in the shin, which like sounds like it would hurt him, that I'm like, just kick him. He's fine. I thought I broke my big toe. I went into the guard office and went over to my boss and I'm like, my foot. And he's like, also, I started dating this one dude from work, which was, it was really awkward the summer we dated because we also worked with his little brother who I used to be friends with, but as soon as I started dating this dude, his brother hated me. We became enemies. Like, we would torment each other in like a fucking cartoon ass like level. Like, he would close my fucking hand in the door. I would, like, throw a drink at him. Like, I would be laying down with the tube under my head. He'd rip the tube out. Like, we would insult the shit out of each other. Like, we were enemies. And then I come back the next summer. He becomes head guard. So he's my boss now. And I scared his brother off. His brother did not come back after I broke up with him. Right?
Okay, guys, get ready with me while I tell you all of the things that my ex-boyfriend did and I still stayed. Just by starters, I know I haven't done a get ready with me in a while. I was getting ready for work and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. Okay, to start off, whenever we were talking, somebody told me that he just wanted to get with me to crack, so I convinced him. He got pissed off, we stopped talking. Then over spring break, he like typed on Snapchat so I would see his notification, and then my friend told me to try and talk to him again, so I did. And then he asked me out, like a month later. The first thing that comes to mind is we were laying in my bed and he was on his phone on Snapchat talking to his best friend, and I was looking at it, and then he's scrolling up in their chats and I see a naked girl. And to make sure that I didn't see it, he like puts his phone down and looks at me and tries to distract me. And then he realizes that I saw it and like begs me to, like, he was like, no, stop, because he didn't want me to see it. I made it clear that I was uncomfortable with his girl best friend, and then I found deleted messages between them talking about me. I was told by like 10 plus people that he was cheating on me, and still stayed. He had a girl take him home every single day after school without telling me because he didn't want me to get upset and he didn't think it would be a big deal. He wanted to go on a break on the last day of school because of an argument that sprouted off of that girl taking him home. And then he told me that he had the best day ever when we were on a break. He would repeatedly go through my phone, go through my Snapchat, unadd all my guy friends, and then he would cause an argument if he found one of my guy friends on my phone. For example, one of my guy friends snapped me while I was at his house and he was on my phone. And then he kicked me out of his house, and when I wouldn't leave because I wanted to talk because I didn't even know what he saw, he got his mom to kick me out. He didn't spend a dime on me, like, ever. I maybe got like 4 bouquets of flowers, and when I brought it to his attention that I was like, hey, like, you know, I feel like you're not really putting in as much effort, he flipped out, grabbed his stuff, walked out, and sat in my living room, then proceeded to text me about how I'm ungrateful. And he told me that I needed to get real and that I can survive without effing flowers. He would scream at me and yell at me, and whenever I would hit him, like tap him, he would hit me back, like harder. Mind you, he's not a small guy. He was like 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". I'm 5'5". When I finally broke up with him, he cussed me out and was like, fuck you, like, I hope you regret this forever. And then the next day was begging for me back and showed up at my house with like 3 bouquets of flowers. He also was like heavily convinced that I was cheating on him. I guess he was like projecting. That's really about, no, that's not all I have, but that's all I have for right now. Let me know if you guys want a part 2. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful, amazing unicorn day.
Hey guys, story time while I get ready. This was what happened yesterday, and basically it's how me and my friend escaped from something that could have happened that could be really bad. Let me just start from the beginning. We were at a thrift store, okay? We were just thrifting. We didn't buy anything because it was just like, we stayed there for like a little while before something happened. We were thrifting, and then my friend told me that she saw a weird guy looking at us weirdly, okay? Like, she saw a guy just looking at us really weirdly with like the desire look in his eyes, okay? And then I was just like, okay, what should we do? Like, do we just leave or do we just like ignore it? And then we just like kind of ignored it for a while, but then she said again that he was looking at us really weirdly, so we decided to leave the store, thinking everything would be fine, right? Because now we left, he's just gonna be in the store looking for other people to look at. But no, when we left the store, he decided to come with us. I haven't even gotten to like the scary part. The exit is right in front of the thrift store, okay? And we were deciding to see like the mall a little bit more. It was like this mall next to my house, okay? So it was like kind of like broken down sort of. But we decided to just walk around a little bit. And then I noticed my friend starts to run. She took my hand, she started to run like crazy, okay? And I was like, why are you running? Like I said that in my head, right? Then she grabbed me and took me to the closest exit there was, and the doors were locked because the mall was actually closing in that like time. So, and then we decided to like go to there was like you know, like many doors, like push, pull, whatever. The ones that she tried to open were closed. Then we opened the ones next to it, and then it opened. And then once we opened it, I saw that there was like panic in my friend's eyes, right? So then she took my hand. We were running outside on the street. No, like on the sidewalk, actually. We were running like we've never run before, because like I trust her. Like she was running like crazy, so I just ran with her. I'm not gonna just stand there. So then yeah, we ran like as fast as we could. Like I've never run that fast in my life. We ran all the way to the grocery store, like IGA, that was like across, okay? And then when we got inside the IGA, like I asked my friend everything what was going on, and she was like, there's this guy that is 100% like following us, okay? And then like basically then, oh my god, that's way too much concealer. But then we were like, we are like, at least we're like 100% safe now, because we're in the IGA, and maybe he didn't see where we went. 2 seconds later, we see him from the corner of our eyes walk into the IGA. And then we realized he walked in the store, okay? But the thing is, at that time, I didn't really recognize his face. I recognized what he was wearing. I recognized what he was wearing, and my friend recognized what he looked like, okay? Because, like, she's the one that kept observing and seeing how he was, like, looking at us, okay? And then, okay, this is where it gets, like, really, like, annoying. We told many workers that there was a guy chasing us, and none of them did anything. Like, first they just said, oh, they're gonna, like, observe, like, whatever, right? But then, we told the manager, like, the 60-year-old like man, we just told him that we are seriously being chased and we need help. And all he said, you want to take a wild guess? I don't care like if they see this video. All he said was, just leave the store. He's not gonna follow you. Which, okay, I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't, we didn't tell him the full story yet, right? Then we were just like, see, that's not gonna work because he followed us like from a different store to here. So what makes you think that if he followed us from another store to the supermarket, that he wouldn't follow us from the supermarket to our house? So yeah, during this time we were calling our like I was calling my mom, and then she was calling her mom and dad, and we were just, why did I say it like that? We were just telling them what's going on, and then my friend's mom and dad came to came to just like see what's going on, and then my grandma also came. And then you know what was the worst part? The moment we left the store, right? When we left like the IGA, the guy also left the IGA, not knowing that all the grown-ups were already outside. So this is when he's caught, right? He's like cooked, right? Literally cooked. Because like my grandma's there, and then her parents are there, and then everyone's watching. And then he walks out the store, right? And then my grandma is like the biggest baddie like ever. Like she would do anything to protect me, right? She literally you never know what could happen with the guy, right? She went up to him and started like screaming at him and pointing her finger, like raging at him, okay? Like it was honestly so funny, but like honestly, like when she was doing that, I was scared for my life. I literally went to I was like screaming from far, come back, I don't want you to get hurt, right? But yeah, she was screaming at him, and then yeah, he just ended up walking away because like, you're caught, bitch. Like you're freaking caught. Like, and the thing is, I think he was just like a mental person. I don't think he was like a professional, like I don't think he was like professional at this, because like genuinely, like you can't be that slow, like, and then he's like not even trying. He's just like following us wherever we go, and he like keeps eye contact with us. He doesn't even try to look away. Like he's just like looking at us. Oh, to top it off, while we were in the IGA, we were like we were like switching spots often, right? Because we were like stressed. Basically, we were like in between like the aisle, like the aisles of like the store, right? And then when we like basically, my friend saw him, and then she told me like quietly, she's like, it's him. And then I looked behind. I didn't really recognize his face. He switched clothing. At least that's what I think, because when I saw him when we were running versus when I saw him in the store, he was not wearing the same thing at all. Then yeah, basically my friend told me that was the face, it was him because she recognized his face, and we decided to go to the cashier where there was more people, okay? And then he also came to the cashier, but to the other cashier next to ours, and then he was paying. And then while he was paying, we decided to do the ultimate final test to see if he's actually stalking us. We decided to go back inside the store. He stops paying, puts the stuff back, comes back to the store. That's when we were 100% sure something was wrong. So that's the end of my story time, and get ready with me. Girls, just be careful out there. Also, to all the workers in IGA who didn't do anything, I have so many things to say to you right now, but I'm not gonna say it. Here's a final look. Bye, and be safe.
What do you say to your friend when you are hiding from a robber who broke into your house and suddenly he sees you?
I saw me! Get ready with me whilst I tell you how I almost died when I was younger. So it's actually kind of a wild story, it was really unexpected. So it basically started on a Sunday night. So on that Sunday night, I basically started to get pain in my stomach, and I thought, oh, it must just be cramps or something. Guys, I've cut my ear. That is so sore. Anyway, so Monday morning I went to school, and same for Tuesday, but I still had this really bad ache in my stomach, but I just thought it'll be fine, don't worry. And then on the Wednesday I went to school again, but this day it got so much worse, and by lunchtime I had such a bad pain in my stomach that in my last lesson of the day I literally fell asleep on the table, and that is so not like me. I was quite quiet in school to fall asleep, oh my god, I was actually mortified. I think I forgot to say, but this was in year 8 or 9, I'm pretty sure year 8 of school. Anyway, so when school finished, I had to walk home every day because I lived in the same village as my school. I had to start walking home, and I got about a tiny bit down the road from my school, and I could not walk anymore. The pain, it was something you literally can never imagine. It was so bad, I literally had to sit on the floor with my friend, and she was like, what is going on? But I was I can't walk anymore. And I was trying to not play it cool, but trying to act I was kind of fine. But I was literally in tears. So then my mum came to pick me up, and she was like, why have you only got this far? So I told her, obviously she already knew that I was in pain, but I told her mum, it's really bad now. And she took me home, and I literally got home and fell flat asleep until the next morning. So the next day, we're on Thursday at this point, I woke up at 5 in the morning, and I felt really sick. So I tried to go to the bathroom, but I couldn't walk again. I hadn't tried to walk since I got home the night before. And so I crawled to the bathroom, and I was just retching. Nothing was actually coming up, but I was retching, and then I crawled back into bed. So then when it was time for me to go to school, I told my mum, I can't go in, I'm in a lot of pain. She was like, okay, but you're going in tomorrow. I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't think I am, but whatever. And she took my sisters to school, and when she came back, I went downstairs, and I laid on the sofa all day, and I was just sleeping the whole day, feeling so ill. And then it got to about 4 o'clock that day, and my mum was like, you need to get up and start walking now because you're going to school tomorrow because I have work. And I was like, I cannot stand. And she was like, stop being stupid, you need to get up. And she got some crutches that my stepdad at the time had, and she was like, use these, you can walk. And I was like, I cannot get up. And she was like, I'll call an ambulance then. And I was like, okay, please do. And then at that point she was kind of like, oh, I guess, I don't know, I don't think I'm guys, I just dropped that all down my leg. What the hell? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's literally everywhere. Anyway, so then my mum called 111, and they said get her to the doctors now. So we went to the doctors, and I again could barely walk, so they had to bring me in a wheelchair to the surgery. And then they literally took one look at me, and they was like, get her to the hospital. So they sent an ambulance to my house. Guys, my sister gave me a bronzer, and I think she's took it back. So now this is what we have to work with. I'm probably going to spill this down too. Anyway, so they sent the ambulance to my house, and then they didn't take me to my local hospital. They had to take me to one in a bigger city. So I got there, and my mum was like,
I'm really worried. And obviously I was scared too. And they said because I'd eaten, they had to wait to do the surgery. And then they did some like observations and they were like, no, like it needs to go now. So I went in for the surgery at midnight, and it's meant to take like 45 minutes to do the surgery, and I was in there till almost 5 in the morning because it was so bad. And I also remember when they were putting the IVs in, like I was in that much pain that I literally did not feel them even put it in. And I looked at my hand and it was dripping with, trigger warning, blood. It was dripping with blood, and I literally hadn't even noticed. Anyway, then I went into the surgery, and I remember my mum was like, I love you, and like telling me all this stuff, and then that started to worry me. And then they put the like mask thing on me, and then I fell asleep. And then I remember waking up the next day and I was so confused where I was, and I was in so much pain, it hurt so bad, and I had a private room in the hospital because it was that bad. I had like a TV in my own bathroom and everything. It was actually really nice. And they said that I had appendicitis and it had ruptured, and then that had given me peritonitis, and then I had got sepsis, so that was not fun. But I ended up getting, guys, I just put on my arm. I ended up getting 2 months off school, so that was really cool. It wasn't cool, I was not very well. But yeah, 2 months off school. And then I also had to have my stomach pumped for like a week straight. It was so gross. It was literally like this green liquid that had, so where the appendix had burst, it had gone all through my intestines and it was in my stomach, and it started to like dissolve my intestines, so they actually had to cut out part of my intestine too. Anyway, yeah, that was being pumped, and it went through my nose into my stomach, and then on the last day they had to take it out whilst I was awake. But yeah, that's my story time of how I almost died. I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, I hope you enjoy. I'm literally fine now, but yeah.
You know what it never was? That serious. It was never that serious.
Hi, story time. So I actually had to like write notes down of like the timeline and everything so I don't forget anything, because that's just how in-depth this shit is. It's really bad. I'm hoping I can fit it all in 10 minutes, guys. So I know some of you know me, some of you know her, a lot of you don't know who the fuck either of us are, which is why I'm gonna go from the beginning, because there's a lot into this that like builds up to what I most recently posted, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. So me and this girl went to high school together. We're not siblings, we're not related, I don't give her my clothes. I have all my clothes in my room right now. I didn't give it to her. We went to high school together. We went to an agricultural high school together. So that means that multiple towns could go to this high school. And so she lives in a completely different town than me. She lives way over there and I live right here. And she lives like a good 40 minutes away from me. So not my sibling, I promise. But anyways, so freshman through junior year, we were like acquaintances. We weren't friends, we weren't best friends, we weren't close, like we weren't each other's top choices. But we had a lot of friends of friends, so we were friendly, like we knew about each other and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure I have a picture of us together from like one of our friends of friends' birthday parties like 4 years ago, which is kind of ironic. So then the end of junior year, I broke up with my boyfriend, it's an important part about this. But I had my summer before senior year. It was great. I was single. I was living my life, hanging with friends, not thinking about school. And then senior year rolls around, and I remember why I broke up with him. Because he was just not a great person. Like, a lot of racist things involved, if that makes sense. I don't really want to go into that. But yeah. And I had a lot of friends that didn't mess with that, and I didn't mess with that, and I wasn't gonna let it slide. I was over it. Like, I didn't want anything to do with that. I didn't need that in my school. I didn't need that affecting my friends or nothing. So my problem only lied with him senior year. But then a few months go by of senior year, and him and this girl Liv start dating. And I'm like, okay, good for you. Pop off, girl. Like, whatever. I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with him. For valid reasons. And she's taking this shit personally once she starts dating him. She's like taking my comments about him as like personal attacks. Like his Instagram got hacked at one point during senior year, and like there were a bunch of racist things that somebody commented, and someone outside of the school reported it to our admin. So I don't know why they thought it was me, but this girl and my ex-boyfriend thought that it was me and got all their little friends and their minions to like report me to admin to try and get me in trouble, but it didn't work because me and Miss Karen like this. But yeah, it was just stupid, and they just like harass the shit out of my TikToks now. Like they'd comment, be like, stop being racist, you smile while you post racist shit on people's things, like blah blah blah, and they'd have their whole friend group in on it. And then there was another time too that he would keep viewing my profile, which like whatever, like you fumbled, we get it, but it started to be every single day, like every single day. Like your girlfriend and you are talking shit over here like you're famous or whatever, and you're the shit and you're innocent, and you're gonna keep viewing my profile every single day? Like no. So I posted a story when the whole I nominate this person for so-and-so trend was going around. So I'll put a picture of it after this, but I posted on my story, I said, I nominate at this ex-boyfriend to not view my profile for more than 24 hours. And boy, did she not fucking like that. I wish I still had a screenshot of it, but she basically did the same thing to me. She said, I at me to stop cheating on my boyfriend and being a bitch and blah blah blah. And meanwhile, I don't have a boyfriend. Also never cheated on a boyfriend. Like, let me know where you got this information. And then it just keeps going. Like, she starts spreading rumors, being like, for some reason they got the idea that I had an abortion from my ex-boyfriend. Like, let me know who's gonna have his kids, because it's not me. So she started spreading around that I had an abortion and I was a quote-unquote baby killer, as she put it, which she also commented on one of my TikToks, mind you. Baby killer. Just let that sit for a minute. And then towards the end of senior year, she started having like issues with her friend group. Like there were 5 of them in their little clique, and like 3 of them like attacked 2 of them and like kicked them out of the friend group, which was really shitty of them. But one of the friends that got kicked out became friends with me, and we worked together for a little bit, and she's amazing and I love her and she's the best and she's so sweet, and she didn't deserve anything that this bitch did to her. But she became friends with me, and this girl Liv was not for it. She did not like that. Like, we were getting death glares in the hallway, we were getting stared at in class, like they would whisper about us in same class we were in together. Like, we could hear you, we know what you're talking about, you're not stealthy. And so after the little friend group breakup, like, she applied for the job that I had, and I worked at my agricultural high school, like taking care of the animals and shit. And so she applied for that job, and our boss would like ask the workers about new incoming employees, being like, how is this person, like, will they be a good fit for this job, and blah blah blah. And when he asked me, I did not hold back about this girl. I was like, no, she's toxic, do not hire her, she does not work well with others, like, she has so many problems with people who already work here, like, you can't hire her. And he was like, okay, like, I'm glad, like, somebody let me know, because everybody seemed like they knew something but just weren't telling me. So she didn't get hired, but then she went around to my boss's boss, the school superintendent, to get him fired, because he wouldn't hire her because she's toxic. And like, while she was having this friend group problems, and like the end of senior year is when like she slowly started to have certain pieces of clothing that I also had. Like, nothing too like jumping out like it is now, but like subtly like getting into the groove of becoming me, you know? But anyways, then, sorry, I'm looking at my notes, there's really so much. But then graduation came, we graduated, I was ready to literally Irish goodbye most of my school.
but I knew that we had summer camp. Our school runs a summer camp that students get to work with little kids and like work at the school and all that shit. So I didn't get my hopes up yet because I knew there was going to be some drama at this summer camp. And boy, was I right. Because I had been doing the summer camp for all 4 years that I was at this school. All 4 years. And my friend does it with me too. And 2 of my friends who work with me were there during the week too, doing their job on the campus. And Liv and one of her little buddies, who actually does make sense that she got this job because she is like a horse girl, ended up being a counselor for the horse group. But she also ended up being a counselor in the horse group, which was just really weird to me because you know that she only got it because her friend is like best friends with the teacher that ran that, which is why it's a little fucked up. And she was like in the phase of trying to torture like that friend that she kicked out of that friend group that I was friends with now, if that makes sense. Because like we had to tell like our foreman and shit like, oh, like this girl has done this and this and this, and like we want her to stay away from this friend because we don't want any issues. Like she does not need to be near her, like keep her away, we don't want any issues. And the foreman were like, yeah, we can do that, like we'll make sure she stays away, like you don't have to go in the barn, like stay away from her, like don't engage in that kind of stuff. So all that goes by, like everything's fine. The only thing that's really bad is like when we're eating lunch at camp, because all the kids eat together, all the counselors eat together, and we're both like sitting on 2 separate sides of the tents. I'm with my friends, who is like me, my friend who's a counselor, my other friend who's a worker who she wishes she was friends with, and my other friend who got kicked out of that friend group. And we're all like having a blast. We're playing with the kids, we're like chilling, and her little miserable friend are like sitting on the ground looking at us, like whispering while looking at us, and you know what they're talking about. Like you're just being miserable. Like I don't know why they went through all this, because they would just sit there and they'd like whisper about us. Like go do your job, go have fun with the kids, you know? But anyways, finally summer camp passed, and right at the end of summer camp, this girl chases me down the hallway on the last day of camp, gets me at the end of the hallway once everybody's gone, and accuses me of stealing her sweatshirt. Like a popular sweatshirt for our school. It is like a Black Bass Pro sweatshirt that like everybody at our school had. But she like tracked me down. She was like, and she was like shaking too. She was like, I'm sorry about everything, you know, it's a joke, and like, but then she was like, I think you took my sweatshirt. Like, did you take my sweatshirt? Like, my grandpa gave it to me. Did you take my sweatshirt? And I was like, I didn't take your sweatshirt. I bought this myself. Which I did. And she was like, is it a medium? And I'm like, yeah, that's the size sweatshirt I am. Like, obviously you're a medium too. Like, we're high schoolers. We're all the same fucking size, bro. But anyways, once that done, I was like, I don't have it, bye, have a nice summer. Because I didn't want to deal with that. And then, luckily, I didn't hear from her after that. And I got a new job working at 2 different places. One of the jobs was working at a big barn, and one of the jobs was working at a little barn. And so I've been working at this little barn for maybe 2 months from a year now. October should be like my year anniversary with it. So I've been working there for a while. I worked there all winter, like, yeah. And then end of May, I think? End of May, beginning of June. The backyard barn lady asked me, hey, do you know this person? She's also like taking a gap year and wanting to work, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, is it this Olivia girl? And she's like, yeah, it's that girl. And I apparently made a face, and she was like, oh no, what's wrong with her? So I told her like some of the background and whatever, and it was fine. And so it goes on, like we work different days, like we never like overshift, because she just needs one lady a day to like work. So we never actually see each other until it became like really, really hot, and the lady offered us to use her pool, which is why you also see the same pool pictures. But one day, me and two of my friends want to go swimming, so I text the lady we work for, and I'm like, hey, can we come swimming? I know it's Liv's day, but it's really hot, because it was like 100 degrees. She was like, yeah, of course you can come, just, like, be aware Liv's there, like, I know you guys have problems, blah, 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 I hope you guys can be friends one day, blah, 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 and I'm like, yeah, whatever, probably not gonna happen, but then I ended up texting Liv the morning of the day we were going swimming, and I was like, hey, like, I know you know we work together, even though you don't think that I know, because that's really weird, but, I was like, hey, like, we're gonna be swimming there, like, we'll have pizza if you and your friend want some, because she brought one of her friends, and she was like, oh, okay, do you guys want the pool to yourselves that day? Like, we can come a different day, and I was like, no, like, I really don't care, like, you guys can just come, because I was like, okay, it's been a year, like, there can't be any more, like, she has to have had her own life by now, right? Wrong. So they come, she does chores, they say hi, she swims for like an hour, and then they leave. And I guess that was like her taking it as like we're friends, like we're besties, like, you know, because she like followed my TikToks after that, and she was like texting me, she was like, hey, you want to cover the shift, and like ask me questions about work, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, okay, I can be friendly, like all this high school shit was a year ago, maybe we've moved past it. So I'm trying to be friendly and all this kind of shit, but then I start to notice a lot of her TikToks start looking at mine, and a lot of pictures in her dump start looking like mine. Like there are certain pictures, like I'll take a picture with the chicken and she'll take the exact same photo. Or I'll make a TikTok with the horse and she'll do the exact same thing. And as this is slowly going on, like when it first started, it was just TikToks, and I was like, okay, whatever. We work at the same place. Of course, they're gonna look a little bit alike. But then it just started getting progressively worse. Like if you go back in my TikToks, you can look at the clothes I'm wearing and who was in my video and what that kind of stuff. And eventually it gets to a point that I really start to notice that, oh, she's wearing the same shirt I wore yesterday. Oh, those are the same jeans I had on yesterday. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, that's the same necklace. Like, you get what I'm trying to say. And, like, I would post in a shirt or a pair of jeans or something, and she'd, like, post a photo on Visco of the shirt on her in, like, a fitting room. Like, you really went out the next day to buy this shit? Like, that's commitment. I'll give her that. That is commitment. And there was a time that I posted on my story in my mirror of my Kimes. I was like, you'll never see me happier than when I'm in my Kimes. The next morning, how I feel in my Kimes with my name on it, because they're a fucking Olivia Kimes. Like, no shit, it's your name, bro. But it just gets worse and worse. Like, there are so many coincidences that, like, add up that it just can't be a coincidence. Like, it's not just about, like, oh, we shop at the same place, like, everyone shops at the same place. Like, it's not like that anymore. Like, all of a sudden, my horse at work will become her favorite horse, or I'll do this in my video and she does the same thing, or I paint my nails blue and she paints her nails blue. Like, it gets to a point, you know? But anyways, yeah. And then I posted another video that was like, keeping my profile public so everyone who hates me can come and ruin their own day. Which I saw maybe once on my For You page. Like, it's not that much of a popular thing, I feel like. But then, not even like a couple hours later, she posted and she was like, I would hate for somebody to look at my profile and their day be ruined. Like, that's so stupid, be your own self, blah, blah, blah. Like, trying to be the bigger person about that kind of shit. And I commented, like, a laughing cat emoji. And she was like, oh my god, I didn't see your post. I didn't see it. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of you. Like, yes, you are. Like, I knew she was. Multiple of my friends came to me with screenshots being like, no way she thinks we're this oblivious. Obviously, she's trying to make fun of you and make you look like a shitty person. I was like, I know. And I have, like, so many people. I have 2 friends who, like, come to me about it, like, once a week at least, being like, did you see this? Did you see this? Don't you own this? Don't you own this? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I own that. Like, yep, that's me. And I'll have people who, like, I'm not even friends with anymore. Like, I'm friendly with them, but, like, I haven't talked to them in months. And they'll, like, randomly start typing on Snapchat, being like, is this your clothes? And I'm like, no. Like, let me fill you in, baby girl. And a lot of the time when, like, recently, a lot of the time when my friends come to me being like, did you see this? Did you see this? I didn't, because she likes to go back and forth about blocking me with all 3 of her accounts. She'll go back and forth. She'll block me, and then she'll unblock me on one, and then she'll block me again on the other, and then unblock me on one, and blah, 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 and follow me, and then unfollow me, and follow me, and then block me, and follow. Like, it's stupid. Like, it's bipolar. It's stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But when I posted this video last, I was blocked on everything but her main, which is now private. But now I'm pretty sure I'm blocked on everything. RIP. But yeah. And a lot of people think she's gonna retaliate, but I'm kind of like, what is she gonna say? Like, what can she say, honestly? There's too much evidence. But yeah, that's kind of like the history of all this. Like, clearly, we're not gonna be friendly anymore. Clearly, she's not gonna ask me to cover her shifts no more. All that kind of shit. But yeah. And the straw that, like, kind of broke my back for posting that video was the last slide, the jeans that I'm wearing, were hand-me-downs from a friend. Like, they were hand-me-downs. She probably went out, looked up the brand, and bought them online for full price. Like, I got them for free from a friend. And that probably has to do with why she has so many jobs. She has, like, 4 jobs because she buys everything that I buy. Like, it's just so bad. Anyways, that's my story time. There's a lot more, like, coincidences and a couple more details, but I don't want to go on and on. So, like, if you guys have questions or something, just reach out. I'll be here all week. But that's it. Bye!